Let us invoke Baba. Baba, being our master teacher, always gives us directions for slightest of weakness or slightest of improvement areas which he wants his children to develop or focus upon. So let us all invoke Baba today and be prepared to listen to his Murli. Om Shanti. So today Baba has a very small and special Murli. The title is Subtle Pride and Cluelessness. Hmm? Sukshma Abhiman or Anjanpan. So with the title itself, we can understand that there are various occasions where we might get trapped of the subtle pride which Baba wants us to check in this Murli. So before we even start the Murli, I would just invite everyone to check for a minute. If anybody is on mute, unmuted, please can you please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. I think still someone is not on mute. Okay, this thing is Girja. Girja, would you like to share anything? I think you're on unmute. Okay, I've just muted you. So again, I'll start sharing my screen. I would request everyone to please unmute only if you have to speak. Okay. So let me come back to the screen. So I would just, before we actually start the Murli, let us quickly check. Is there any area where we feel that we get into the trap of subtle pride? May it be when someone is praising us. May it be when someone is removing some mistake, asking us to improve somewhere. May it be where someone is not agreeing to what we are saying. May it be someone is doing something which I have not asked him to do. I might not express the pride, but is it something which comes into my mind? Just take a moment and check before even we start the Murli. Today's Murli is very small, we can quickly cover it. But let us take some moment to check. No need to share, it is just that we are checking for ourselves. Okay, let us now see what Baba has to say. At the present time, two main weaknesses or defects are visible in the effort of those who are making effort everywhere. And due to such weaknesses, they are not able to show the wonders that they should. Interestingly, Baba is directly jumping onto the subject right at the beginning of the Murli. He's very specific. Probably he might have come for some time and he is wanting a specific area of focus which he wants us to be. And at the very beginning, he says, due to such weaknesses, they are not able to show the wonders that they should. What are those two weaknesses? On one side, there is arrogance, and on the other side, there is ignorance. Arrogance, ignorance. Both these aspects make your effort stuck. Arrogance is also arrogance is also very subtle. Because of arrogance, if someone gives even the slightest signal for your own progress, then in a subtle way, there isn't tolerance, but there is instead the thought, why did this one say this? This is said to be arrogance in a subtle way. So Baba is asking us to focus on the subtle aspects of arrogance. And what is one way of the subtle aspect of arrogance? It is the thought which comes to our mind where we ask ourselves, why did this one say like this? If someone even gives a slightest signal of our own progress, okay, not even making us feel ashamed or making us feel insulted, it is just a signal of our own progress. Still, if we get this thought, why did this one say this? That is, as per Baba, arrogance in a subtle way. If someone gives a signal, consider that signal to be a means for your progress for the present and also the future. There should also be the practice of merging that signal in yourself and the power to tolerate that signal. In a subtle way, there is also upheaval in your attitude and vision. Why did this happen? How did this happen? This is not said to be the soul consciousness stage. Hmm. So Baba is asking us two, three things. First one he's telling, consider that signal to be means for your progress. Second, he's telling, practice of merging that signal in yourself. And thirdly, power to tolerate that signal. So again, couple of more questions. Why did this happen? How did this happen? This is not said to be the soul consciousness stage. At the time of listening to praise, you have the feeling of love in your vision and attitude towards that soul. So, if someone gives a signal for your guidance, is there the feeling of love in that? And of being a well wisher for that soul? That that soul is a very great well wisher for you. Such a stage is called the soul conscious stage. If you are not soul conscious, then, in other words, it would be called arrogance. This is why you are not able to tolerate insult. So, in this paragraph, Baba is comparing someone praising us and the kind of love we have for that person versus someone giving us signal for improvement and we having the attitude of that soul being a great well wisher for us. And we having that attitude is something which Baba calls the soul consciousness stage. On the other side, you become completely ignorant. Now, Baba is exploring the second part. So, he has already explored the arrogance part. If you remember the two weaknesses Baba mentioned at the beginning, arrogance and ignorance. So, now Baba is going to the second one. On the other side, you become completely ignorant. You are deceived in many aspects because of this reason too. Some pretend to be ignorant in order to protect themselves, whereas others really are ignorant. So, instead of these two things, imbibe self respect and also humility through which both these two things will finish. In your thoughts, let there be the awareness of self respect, and in your words and deeds, let there be the stage of humility, and arrogance will then finish. So, Baba is asking us to have self respect in our thoughts and stage of humility in words and deeds. You have become philosophers, but you have not become spiritual. That is, you have not yet developed this spirit. Those who stay in soul conscious stage, in the intoxication of soul consciousness, are called spiritual. But nowadays, they are visible more as philosophers and they have very little spiritual power. A spirit can do as much in 1 second. Just a magician can show such wonders in a second. In the same way, those who have spirituality develop the art of attaining success in whatever they do. Okay, so Baba is wanting us to have have understand the difference between philosopher and that being spiritual. So Baba says that you all are philosophers. You know what is right and wrong. Probably you can explore all of probably we can explore all of those things. But what it is that it will require us to reach spirituality. And that is what Baba calls as soul conscious stage. In the intoxication of the soul consciousness are called spiritual. And if we are not soul consciousness, that is the reason there is very little spiritual power. So just like a spirit can do whatever in 1 second, in the same way, once we develop spirituality, that is soul conscious stage, we develop the art of attaining success in whatever we want. Again, Baba As tells those people, those are like magicians, spirit, have the art of doing everything successfully with their hands, whereas this being an embodiment of success in every thought and word and every deed. Success means attainment. Simply to listen to and relate points is known as philosophy. There is a temporary impact from philosophy, whereas the influence of spirituality is for all time. So now, in order to attain success in your every deed, you have to bring about spirituality. To be ignorant means that you do not become an embodiment of whatever you hear. Okay, so nice definition of ignorance Baba is giving us. Baba tells us that if you know what needs to be done, that is very good. That is becoming a philosopher. But to be embodiment, that is something which is the next step, which Baba tells us getting out of ignorance, and to which Baba further tells that it is attainment, which will bring us success. A worthy teacher is one who gives teaching through being an embodiment of those teachings. That one's form will be full of the teachings. Their way of looking and walking will give teachings to others. Just as you saw how every action of the Sakar form as a teacher was that of spirituality in a practical way. In other words, you call this the divine activity. Okay, so Baba is now like flipping the side. So earlier Baba gave us if someone is giving suggestion for our self improvement. Now even we try giving suggestions others for their self improvement. That is we become teacher. So now Baba is telling us to be a worthy teacher, one has to be an embodiment of all those teachings. So our way of looking and walking will give teachings to others. And then Baba compares that with Brahma Baba as a teacher. To give teachings to someone through words is a common thing. However, everyone wishes to have an experience. You have to give an experience with the power of your elevated thoughts and elevated deeds. Hmm. So again, Baba is focusing on the experience and not just the teaching. So how can we give experience through our elevated thoughts and deeds? We can reflect upon this and share later. Acha. So we complete the Murli here. It's a very small Murli. Let's take a couple of minutes and try to reflect. How can I relate this Murli to my day-to-day activities? May that be in the Yajna Seva, may that be at home, may that be at my workplace. There will be situations, circumstances where I will be coming across all these things. So how will I relate the Murli to all those things? Let's reflect and maybe then we can share. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Yes, we can start sharing now. So let me share one recent example. Mm, as we all know that today is Dadi Janki ji Smriti Divas. She completed 3 years of uh, becoming a Vyakt. So yesterday we had this celebration. We had a big party, and um, day before yesterday, I was preparing for one song. Okay, so here at this local center, we have some performances sometimes, and I do take part in cultural activities. So so I have a co-singer with me, and we were practicing on my keyboard. And that was this song called as Chalte Chalte. My Dadi likes it very much. So we were practicing this song. And for whatever reasons, I was not able to um, sing. Means I was singing that song to the best of my knowledge, but the co-singer was telling me, Praful, you're not bringing life to this song. Sing this Chalte Chalte with more liveliness. And I was like, I just, I just got a thought that I'm already singing this. Why is he bringing corrections to me? And probably that person was not really singing uh, on the rhythm with the beats, although he had very good surs, the knowledge of sound, but he was not that much, and he was trying to improvise me. And this thought suddenly came to me, and that is when then I checked. I told myself, Are he's giving some suggestions, he's giving some improvement idea. Why am I not welcoming it? But this idea really came little late, maybe after a minute or so. First 1 minute, I didn't say anything to him, but this thought came to me that why is he telling me like this? Probably he might not be even having that much information or knowledge about the music which I have. But still he was giving me a improvisation suggestion. So I never read this Murli at that time, but of course we all get to know this Baba's teachings in some or the other form. Suddenly I told myself sorry. I told Baba sorry, and I immediately told him, brother, very nice suggestion. Please let me know once I improved, and probably I sung that same line for maybe 8 to 10 times, and then finally approved. Praful, by now it is sounding better. So after that, then from that time until the end of the performance, we did a couple of rehearsals late night, uh, Saturday night. It was almost 12:30, 1 in the morning, and again we did some rehearsals yesterday morning. And I always made it a point, and I asked him any suggestions for improvement. You're very nice. Uh, you're really wanting me to improve. That is so nice of you. And I just made sure that he doesn't feel bad that I'm not giving any attention to his suggestions. So yeah, so this was one just a good experience which I came across just a couple of days before I thought of sharing here. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Bhaji. This Murli, though it's a short Murli, but it's a very deep Murli, can be applied in a practical manner. Because
Mm-hmm.
when we get the praise from others, we feel better. But when someone gives constructive suggestions as a criticism, tool of criticism, then also our stage should be stable, and we should take it in a positive spirit, because that suggestion is for our own improvement in not only present but also for the future. So Baba has given us the way, the method that we need to check ourselves that am I ignorant of this fact, that I have inability to tolerate insult. The ignorance can be I may be in my self comfort zone. I am protecting myself, so I pretend that I am ignorant, or I'm really ignorant. I should realize that. And the definition of ignorance, Baba said that I am I a know-all kind of person, like philosopher. Baba said, if I'm just know the knowledge, but I'm not applying it, the spirituality in the practical day-to-day life, then I'm just a philosopher who keeps speaking only, but not it doesn't reflect in my deeds and my words. And so that being philosopher versus being spiritual. And Baba gave example of magician does the art of has got the knows the art of doing everything with their successfully with their hands, हाथ की सफाई. Whereas being spiritual means not only हाथ की, basically it's deep rooted at the thought level, and also every word and every deed will reflect the spirituality power of soul consciousness. And then Baba said the worthy teacher, a worthy teacher is opposite of ignorant. Worthy teacher will not be ignorant. A worthy teacher will be applying the knowledge received from Baba in a practical manner, practical way, and will give experience. Others will experience this soul consciousness power from a worthy teacher. Om Shanti.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
If you don't mind, I would really like to go deep into it rather than just stating what Baba has just said in the Murli, pick it up and say. Because when you were sharing your example, brother, we go through all this in our life. They always say, why you're not able to succeed when you have so much resources, so many things happening around you. Because the reason of, there are two extreme reasons which takes place. One is, I am the best. I am right. I know everything. That person doesn't know what I'm doing. I have everything in me. That is one extreme. The other one is, oh, is it so? I don't know what to do. I am not sure. I know nothing. How can I accept what that person is saying? Is it really good for me? These kind of situations where happens in everything. Now, how can I say, you were speaking about, you were playing the tune well, fine, that person corrected, you did it. Now, how do I really understand that whatever criticism, especially in this world of jargon, how do I understand that the criticism which is coming forward is constructive? So for that, yes, because I like the title, Subtle Pride. It's pure arrogance, cluelessness. See, Baba is saying, if you have that, you won't know kahan jana hai, kaisa jana hai, like andhe, like a blind eye. So I feel, instead of thinking about, oh, am I arrogant? Am I ignorant? Whenever anything comes, if I have the tolerance power in me, the tolerance, nothing can cross this soul. So if I have the cheat, then I will be able to discern. So in that part to discern, I can see the intention of the other soul. Then if something, wow, this is something very nice, I can bow down and I can accept. I can merge into it. I think that is how I can get a clue to solve my, if Baba's calling us arrogance, I like the word subtle pride. I was just going deep into it because we face the situations really, just not to take some, if somebody says something, do that. I thought this is a kind of a drama we should play within ourselves.
Wonderful. I was just reading Shivani's comments in the chat window, and I could relate. Sometimes people, give some sarcastic comment. I've observed this, especially uh, both in the office as well as sometimes in the center. Sometimes people just try to tell, for example, you brothers do such and such things and that. And when I just take that thing and I tell, okay, is it? Maybe I need to improve then. I would definitely work on myself. Thanks for this. And suddenly the table gets flipped. They tell, oh, no, we were just telling like that. Don't take that seriously. We were just trying to, you know, mock or something. And so when when I accept such things, oh, really, I need to work upon myself. Thanks for that. If we tell that in a very pure way, in a very, innocent way, when somebody is even taunting us, that person really realizes that the opposite person is really taking that as a constructive suggestion, and either he suddenly becomes silent, or suddenly he starts, no, no, we were just giving a very small suggestions, you are really doing very well, and this was just a very minor point. So mm that is very interesting sometimes, rather than uh, bouncing back or thinking why someone is telling, if we accept and just even empower that soul that, oh, this is good and we'll work on this, that makes this situation very light. Anyone else would like to share any experience or any deeper reflections?
Just one more thing I wanted to add, brother. You were
Mm-hmm.
speaking about the center. I have always seen this earlier in the center. Whenever somebody, when the Murli is going on, next to you, you see somebody just closing their eyes and all. Actually, you don't know, are they really listening, or are they really, they've nodded off. So it depends on your intention. Do you want really that person to improve? Then what a way really you must try to correct. So the way people correct others, try to rectify others, that also is an important thing which as a lesson we should do. If suppose I just try to touch that person in a subtle way, and then act as if I didn't do anything, and then look straight forward, it shows my intentions is just to alert that person, not to make him know that you're sleeping. Okay. But there are some people, I've seen from the stage, I've seen teachers calling out the name, sun rahe ho, that way. So those times I used to feel it makes that person, will he correct? No, he will not come. He will go and sit right behind and all and all. I've seen this happening in front of me and all. And I thought, okay, it's just a sign of progress, because it's suppose we are not going to be alert. It's like a teacher just trying to pull out the ear of a student. But in a spiritual class, or in a spiritual this, where I'm listening to spiritual versions, I think when the way I correct a person more than way I accept, that also plays an important role.
Yeah, very true. So our teaching should be such that the person should not, if that can be anonymous, as you mentioned, that is wonderful. But sometimes if that cannot be anonymous, then yeah, it should not be in a way that that person should feel or get a feeling that why is this person trying to teach me? Or maybe sometimes I've even used this tool in different sense. For example, there is one brother at our center. At the time of Murli, he will prepare tea, and um, he will even offer me right in the beginning, middle of Murli. He will call me, Praful, bhai, let's have some tea. I've prepared for you. And he's such a lovely brother that I cannot say no to him. And couple of times I accepted the tea, and because I just thought that I should not put that person at dis-ease by telling him that this is Murli time and I need to focus there. But then once that started repeating, I just asked brother, is it okay if we have this tea little later? And I'm not sure if this would really, if this is really which Baba will like us to do. So rather than telling him that, I don't want to have tea, or telling him that, why are you preparing tea at this point of time when it's Murli time? Because that would probably have hurted him. I thought of using a tool. Will Baba really like us to have tea at this point of time? Or maybe can we have little later? And then he suddenly realized, he told, oh, Praful, you are right. And maybe we can have later. But after that, even I told, I'm sorry, like if you want, you can have, but I was just thinking. But then he suddenly told, no, Praful, you're telling right. Immediately turned off the gas and, he came with me in the Murli class. This was just a couple of days ago when at one of the local centers, uh, I saw that. So again, I just, after that, I reflected that mm, even the way we give teachings and the humility which we bring, that not by pinpointing at someone, but by making them aware of the bigger cause, bigger picture, or maybe bringing Baba in middle in some way or the other. So that probably makes someone realize that what needs to be done at what time. So yeah, this was a small experience. Om Shanti. There are also some scenarios I've seen, both in yajna as well as in office. Sometimes we do some things in a certain way which we feel it to be correct, and seniors may not accept that. They might give some suggestions, improvements, which we feel that was not necessary at that moment of time. Or we feel, or rather, I feel, let me put it to myself, I felt that um, probably the seniors could have appreciated the kind of work I have done, and later they could have given a suggestion. But sometimes they just tell that, no, this is not good. This you can probably do it that way. So sometimes earlier I used to come into this thought of rejection, or maybe thought of a thought that why whatever I've done is not being appreciated, and someone is really telling something else which is not that of that value. Which, but then I tried to. So there were a couple of situations where I did the way they told. Of course, I had to do because they were seniors, and I realized that it really worked that way, the way they told. And then I tried to change the approach for myself. Whenever someone gives suggestions, I tell to myself that probably probably they know the bigger picture. I might be seeing that specific situation from one side, one angle, which could be a limited, a limited perspective. And they, maybe being senior or maybe having more experience, have a 360-degree view. So even if that is not making a sense to me at that point of time, probably time will make me realize that. Or once I start involving myself into that thing, I'll get that experience. So with this thought, I open the doors of acceptance of whatever critics or whatever suggestions others are giving. And with that mind frame, then I enjoy the task or enjoy the suggestions they give. And sometimes, or most of the time, it really works. The things which they tell, especially the senior sisters at our center, or for that matter, even my boss. I realized later that good, I accepted whatever he told right from the first thought, and that bring success to me. Sometimes it could happen that it really didn't work, but at least I didn't have a harsh feeling for themselves or I didn't think anything negative. So again, I am successful over there. So it works both ways.
I agree with you, brother, because I've seen even sometimes the teachings given by this, it really puts me, because I don't know how much the person towards whom it is directed, how much he has the power to absorb what is being told. I know what is being told, the context is not to hit the person, but to correct the person. But in a spiritual thing, it's a different matter. In a school where I'm studying, maybe that's different. But in a spiritual, we are all with knowledge, we have ego, how it affects. And I've seen in front of my eyes many people just stop coming, not attending, being careless, a kind of ऐसे ही चले जाता है. So I tried speaking. Sometimes I just went over, but one incident I'll remember. I went to Dadi Janki once because when we whether she was in charge that time. So I went to her and I wanted to tell her. I said, Baba, somehow I've got to tell her. And I couldn't meet her and all much, but somehow she was giving clearly. She's saying, Baid ja. So I sat down and she never, I never spoke to her. But what I had in my mind, she took that day's Murli and she read the blessing. It it just hit me. It just hit me like where I should find solutions, what I should do. She gave me. So after that, I never taken all that. I said, oh, I had to just get that. So if I want to look for justice in whatever somebody is speaking for others, for myself, okay, and then hoke jao and all, I can do this. So after that, as you said now, uh, I learned to accept. I learned to say, whatever happens, it's Baba's kingdom, it's Baba's school. He shall take care. I stopped feeding my mind with such thing, and that helped me a lot.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Any last point before we move on to the meditation? Okay, so maybe let's move on to meditation. So let us again sit back and just reflect for 2 minutes. The same exercise which we did at the beginning of today's class. Now that we have Baba's wisdom with us, let us quickly get seated on the throne of soul consciousness. I, the soul, master of this body, take my awareness to the subtle regions in front of Bap Dada. Let me empower myself with the powerful drishti of Bap Dada. Baba is filling me with lots of rays of power. And as I get myself filled with the blessings and powers from Bap Dada, I become arrogance proof. I become pride proof. Whatever happens, maybe somebody is scolding me, maybe somebody is giving me a suggestion. My attitude, my response for any such thought, any such act is very positive. I am a well wisher for everyone. There is no slightest doubt or slightest reaction, even in my thoughts, because I am Master Trikaldarshi. I know that whatever is happening in drama, that is perfect and that will bring me success. I am not ignorant of things. I have the wisdom which Baba has given me, and that helps me evaluate each situation quickly and bring it to my gain, to my success. As I talk to myself, Baba is observing me, and Baba is giving me powerful sakash, and probably he's telling me, child, you are a successful being. You are always successful and you will be successful because I am with you. And with these blessings from Baba, I come back from the subtle regions, back on the crown of my forehead, and I am ready for a beautiful day ahead. Om Shanti. Thank everyone for joining. Have a great day.
Wonderful, brother. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, everyone.
Om